The Las Vegas Raiders are quietly building an absolute juggernaut while the rest of the AFC West is making catastrophic, headline-chasing mistakes. If you look closely at the completely contrasting off-season moves between Las Vegas and Kansas City, you will be absolutely shocked at who is actually playing chess right now. We are breaking down the brilliant, under-the-radar signing that proves the Raiders are ready to take over this division. If you bleed silver and black and want the most hard-hitting Raiders updates on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe right now. Have we finally reached the exact moment where the Kansas City dynasty starts to crumble under its own arrogance? Let me be completely honest with you guys, because we need to talk about what is happening right in front of our eyes. I am not out here just to blindly hate on other teams, but when a franchise makes a massive blunder, we have to call it out. The Kansas City Chiefs are absolutely scrambling right now, and the panic is starting to show. If you have seen the news, you know exactly what I am talking about. The Chiefs actually went out and decided that their grand contingency plan, their ultimate insurance policy just in case Patrick Mahomes goes down, is to bring in Justin Fields. Listen, I have watched Justin Fields play a lot of football since his days in Chicago and then moving on to the Jets. And the glaring issue that absolutely nobody seems to be talking about is his fundamental inability to run that specific Kansas City offense. Think about it. Justin Fields is an athlete who thrives when he can drop back with zero pressure, or when he is taking off on a highly designed run. That is his game. But the one thing he absolutely cannot do, the one glaring weakness in his DNA, is improvisation. He does not process the field quickly. He cannot instantly read, react, and deliver the ball under chaotic pressure. Those are massive, fatal flaws for an NFL quarterback, especially in a wildly complex system. The Chiefs' front office seems to think they can just plug in a mobile quarterback behind Mahomes, and everything will be perfectly fine. They think they will not have to change the playbook. It is an absolute joke. They are entirely different players operating on completely different processing frequencies. This is not just a bad move, it is a desperate one. Even if Mahomes had to miss time, I highly doubt Fields is even consistent enough to secure the starting job over a guy like Gardner Minshew. And the desperation does not stop there. Look at the absolute exodus of talent that has walked right out the door in Kansas City this offseason. They traded away Trent McDuffie. They completely lost Jalen Watson, Brian Cook, Leo Chenal, Charles Omenihu, and Joshua Williams. That is a massive, irreplaceable chunk of their defensive core, just gone into thin air. And what is their grand solution? They threw a massive bag of money at a running back. Sure, a running back might help them move the chains, but then they pad the rest of the roster with Alohi Gilman, Khyiris Tonga, Tyquan Thornton, and paying up for Travis Kelce again. When you look at the sheer volume of elite defensive talent walking out the door versus what they brought back in, it is a glaring net negative. But that is exactly why I am sitting here with a massive smile on my face today. Because while the Chiefs are making moves out of desperation, the Las Vegas Raiders are making brilliant, calculated, mature football decisions. That brings me to the newest member of the Las Vegas Raiders, linebacker Segun Olubi. Now, let us be real for a second. Did everyone spend their entire weekend grinding tape on Segun Olubi? Of course not. But the second this signing dropped early this morning, I immediately dove deep into the analytics and the film, and what I found absolutely blew my mind. This is the exact definition of a mature, championship-building roster move. While Kansas City is out there chasing the flashy headlines with Justin Fields, trying to force a square peg into a round hole, the Raiders are quietly securing elite, foundational depth. When you look at Olubi, you are getting so much more than just a backup linebacker. You are acquiring an absolute terrifying weapon on special teams. This is how smart, mature teams win football games. They find guys on inexpensive deals, specifically in the linebacker and running back rooms, who are absolute demons on special teams. We are talking about a guy who easily commands 300 to 400 snaps a year on special teams alone. That brings me to our question of the day, and I need every single one of you to jump into the comments right now and let me know. Do you prefer your front office to chase flashy, big-name free agents that steal the headlines, or do you want them making these gritty, under-the-radar depth signings that actually build a championship foundation? Drop your answer in the comments below because I am going to be reading through all of them. Let me tell you why this Olubi signing is the gritty foundation I am talking about. To dominate on special teams, whether it is punt coverage, punt return, kick coverage, or kick return, you need linebackers with freakish, elite athleticism. And that is incredibly hard to find. But if you look at the relative athletic score, the RAS, which gives us a perfect snapshot of a player's physical ceiling, Olubi is off the charts. Coming out of San Diego State back in 2022, he registered as a top 500 athlete among all linebackers in the history of the metric. He possesses absolutely elite, game-breaking speed paired with fantastic agility. The only knock on him coming out of college was his size. He weighed in around 225 pounds. Pro Football Focus might still list him at that weight today, but when you turn on the tape, there is absolutely no way he is playing at 225. The man looks like he has easily bulked up to 235 or 240, and he plays with a vicious, heavy-hitting style. I am insanely intrigued by what he brings to the table. He bounced from the 49ers to spending a few years with the Colts. And while his defensive snaps have been somewhat limited over the past couple of seasons, what he does on the hidden third of the game is spectacular. Getting elite, green-level grades on special teams from Pro Football Focus is insanely difficult. Yet Olubi was out there playing at an elite level in 5 of the 6 special teams phases. The only thing he did not do was block on the actual field goal kicking unit because he is not an offensive lineman. He was elite on kick return, kick coverage, punt return, punt coverage, and field goal block. That is an extremely valuable asset that casual fans completely ignore. This is not a franchise wasting money on shiny toys. This is a front office securing an absolute ace, plugging massive holes, and setting up the defense for immense success. The Raiders did not fall for the Justin Fields trap. They could have easily traded for him. They could have chased the hype. Instead, they stood their ground. They know they have Aiden O'Connell in the building. They know there are steady veteran options out there if they want a bridge guy, whether that is Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, or someone else who can actually read a defense and mentor a young rookie quarterback. And when you look at the absolute masterclass the front office is putting together right now, you cannot help but be thrilled. If the season kicked off tomorrow, almost every single positional group is locked and loaded. The defensive line. Absolute monsters, though one more interior guy wouldn't hurt. The linebackers. You are completely set. The cornerbacks are looking incredibly solid. Safety might need one more body, but the offensive line is completely serviceable, and the running back, tight end, and quarterback rooms have massive potential. This brings us to the most exciting part of this entire offseason, the upcoming draft. We are a little over a month away, and while free agency is still moving, the Raiders have amassed a total war chest of picks. You want darts to throw at the board. Las Vegas has an entire armory. We are talking about 11 total draft picks to completely reshape this roster. When you break it down, it is absolutely staggering. You are holding the number 1 overall pick. Then you are right back on the clock at 36, 67, and 102. Your draft capital is positioned so early in every single round that it genuinely feels like you are drafting a full round ahead of everyone else. Beyond that, you are sitting on 3 fourth-round picks, a 5th rounder, 3 6th-rounders, and a 7th. That is how you build a dynasty. With that number 1 overall pick, we all know the absolute hype surrounding Mendoza. And let me make something extremely clear right now for any of the doubters out there. Mendoza was absolutely fantastic during his time at Indiana. He developed, he absorbed the system, and he evolved into a spectacular player. People tried to bring up his time at Cal, but let us be entirely real, he did not suck at Cal. He was still showing incredible flashes, and he has only gotten better. Putting him at the helm of this offense is a dream scenario. But the dominance does not stop in the first round. Because of this massive stockpile of picks, the Raiders can sit back and let top-tier talent fall right into their laps in the 30s and 60s. Just imagine coming away with a ferocious offensive lineman like Caleb Lamu, Christian Miller, or Emmanuel Pregnant to absolutely maul people in the trenches. Imagine stealing an electric wide receiver like Kevin Concepcion to blow the top off defenses, or locking down the secondary with a gritty, physical corner like Colton Hood. Even on the defensive side, the depth of this draft is incredible. Guys like Peter Woods or Caleb Banks are absolute monsters. Imagine if a true, gap-plugging nose tackle like Lee Hunter slides down the board. He would be an absolutely phenomenal fit in this defensive scheme, just sitting there waiting to be drafted. What if a lockdown defensive back like D'Angelo Pons makes it to one of your mid-round picks? That is an A+, home run selection just waiting to happen. I am sitting here looking at this roster, looking at the massive draft capital, and looking at the maturity of this front office, and my excitement is completely through the roof. Is there any doubt left that this front office is building something truly special? The Las Vegas Raiders are quietly, methodically, and brilliantly assembling a monster. Meanwhile, the rest of the AFC West is in utter chaos. The Broncos are sitting on their hands, basically refusing to sign any impactful free agents. The Chargers think they made big moves, but they are fooling themselves. And the Chiefs? They are desperately paying the wrong people and bringing in completely incompatible quarterbacks. The tide is absolutely turning, Raider Nation. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking football with me today, and I will see you all on the next one.